Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Monica Măgureanu.
Gosia Malinowska.
It's a absolute pleasure to have this beautiful lady. You are going to have a conversation with me. Um, yes, I thought it will be nice to start the cycle of conversations that I imagine it in my head to have it with people who inspire me, who tell the story, and who have this beautiful light. We're surrounded by this beautiful light. So first of all, can you tell us what do you do, and um, what do you do now? What's your profession, and uh, what makes your life going? And I know what you do, and we've met in we know each other from our CI community, our lovely community. And but what else, and how would you like me to introduce you?
That's a tough question. How would I like you to introduce me? Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, and as always, it's a pleasure to chat with you. And I'm looking forward to see what we are chatting about.
Let's
Uh,
see.
what am I doing? Actually, right now, I am relaxing after a crazy and chaotic day in traffic and running all around. In my professional life, let's say, I am I am doing what brought us together. So I am doing CI. I am doing compassionate inquiry. I am a systemic coach and a symbol therapist. But I would like to see myself as professionally or non-professionally, just living whatever I'm doing. So that's
Yeah.
where I am at. Yeah. And what makes me go on? I just go on. So there's nothing that makes me to go on. I'm happy that it goes on. And I'm very happy to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, or I thought it maybe would be useful for whoever's going to be listening to this, to maybe explain a little bit of what CI means and what the compassionate inquiry is. So to help people to understand why we are both so hooked on on this particular psychotherapeutic approach that we decided to turn at least my life upside down and become my lifestyle.
Mm,
I'd like to speak about a little bit about CI approach and what does it do for you as
mm,
a, in your personal life, because obviously we use that as a, approach, a modality, some people will call it, um, to guide people, to help people to rediscover themselves. But how did you find CI? What does CI
mm.
mean to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing that you are saying it has become a lifestyle for you. So for me, it's more than an approach, and that's one of the reasons that I stay hooked, as you said, in this community, and I will read and eat everything that the CI community has to offer. For me, I live CI, and I got there because of Gabor.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a documentary, probably you know it. It's In Utero.
Yes.
It's a
Oh my
very old,
God. Yes, I know it. Yeah.
and Gabor has some interventions there. And there was this gut feeling, would say the CI approach, that I need to do a workshop or something with this guy. And of course, the smart algorithms probably hurt me because they have suggested to check the Compassionate Inquiry website. So that's how I started. Um, Not necessarily with an expectation, but there was a kind of enthusiasm that was in my whole body.
Mm-hmm.
And surprise, surprise, that I discovered a lot about myself during this training, not only in the long year, but also in the mentorship, in the internship, in all the other trainings that I did in CI. And that made me, see, something made me do something, made me stay. And at least try to offer back for whoever is resonating with this approach, what I have received, because I have received a home, and for me, CI is a home. Not only the training, which has helped me tremendously on my personal level, but also I can see with my eyes what has done for my clients. So yeah, that's why I'm here. And when I'm saying this, it's not that I have learned something I didn't know, but rather, as Gabor said, I become better at feeling. Because although cognitively or mentally, I was aware of coping mechanisms, where it started, how it went, and my brilliant mind, which I adore, was so good in connecting the dots. But something was missing, and that was the body, that was the emotion. And if I would say it in my own words, in compassionate inquiry, it's a canvas where the mind, the body, the emotions are just creating landscapes, And the difference is that you feel and live the landscape. You are not just the painter presenting their picture or their painting to the people. You are the painting, Yeah, that's the eye for me.
So
How is it for you? I understand it's your lifestyle, but yeah, since we are chatting and we've met in CI and we are colleagues, I would be curious, how is it for you too?
So CI sort of found me. I was already on a quite deep discovery journey because I found myself a few years ago not knowing who I really am. And again, listening to Gabor's teachings online, he had that question from the crowd, and I can't remember exactly the question that the lady asked, but Gabor asked, how the session could go. Gabor asked her, "Do you know who you are? Like, do you know yourself? Do you know your essence?" And at that moment, it was just like a bulb light up above my head, and I was like, I promised myself I'm not gonna swear, but I have to because it was fuck. I don't know. Yeah. It was just this realization, and I remember that was January. I was sitting on the floor. I was thinking, okay, this is the way to go. I need to dig deeper and understand like why I surround myself with these people, why I'm suffering so much. Who am I? Why I'm doing this job? Why am I in London for the past 20 years? What is going on? And as I said, I was already on the discovery sort of journey because that's already I was already a Reiki practitioner and a sound healer, and I went through two ayahuasca's journeys by then. So yeah, so I feel like this beat was just encouraging me to put all this information that I've got there inside, I know now, to know the truth, to find out the truth about myself. That's why I feel like this is my lifestyle, because I don't know how to think differently about the life rather than asking myself questions and being curious about why I feel the way I feel, why this situation or this person is triggering me, why do I have enough compassion for myself in this particular setup. So it's just being curious rather than being judgmental. So the whole process of discovering the parts of myself which I wasn't allowed to touch. I wasn't allowed myself to touch because it was too painful to go there. CI community and CI process actually allowed me to do that. And because I know it works, I'm so excited and passionate to actually, giving it as a gift to people in the best way I can, to help them to see themselves for who they truly, truly are. And I think that's one of the best job you can do in life.
And it's the most beautiful gift you can offer.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for asking.
Mm.
Coming back to you. I know that you are absolutely madly in love with animals,
Mm.
cats and dogs and dragons and horses
And unicorn.
and unicorns. Let's just leave the dragons and unicorns aside for a little bit, but let's go to horses. And I had the
Mm.
privilege to meet the whole family almost,
Mm.
but to meet the horses. And
Mm.
um, so one of you, can you remind me the names? Because I know one is Victoria, and I don't know the new member of the family. I forgot.
Mm. The new member of the family, it's called Major,
Major.
like mayor or something in
Yes,
English would be.
because he's like that.
He's like that. Yeah. Only that we didn't get the chance to talk. Victoria is still with me and still in my heart, but she passed away.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
yeah, thank you.
When
Yeah,
was that?
it was actually it was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, but she's with us now. I'm sure, and she is free, maybe in another, let's say, dimension.
Waiting for us.
So yeah, she's still with us, only not in this material form. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of her.
Oh,
Mm, yeah.
she's lovely. I wanted to ask about connection with you with your horses and how did that play out in your life? Why horses? Why this passion? Why,
Mm.
you know? But we don't want to. If you don't want, we don't have to talk.
No, she's still in connection with me, and for me, she is still uh, my teacher, my therapist, my friend,
Yeah.
um, and it's not only the connection, it's also when I got triggered by her, because that's how our relationship started. But I guess she came into my life as a mirror to my own being, which I couldn't see at that time, you know, although she passed away, is still my best teacher, therapist, friend, uh, everything to me. Everything that I missed in my childhood, I found in her actually. And there was a time when I felt guilty about it, But yeah, because of CI, I integrated that guilt. So here I am with no guilt and very grateful that I had her in my life. And in a way, I still have her, but well, at another vibrational or energetical level. So, Victoria, I said that she was a mirror of myself, and she was a pretty good mirror because at that time, and that was now it's 2024, so it was 14 years ago. Um, I was looking in the mirror more often than I do today, but I didn't see myself, so I had to meet Victoria for that. Um, I was coming out of the corporate world with the information today. I might self-diagnose as being in burnout. I was working a lot. I was working like 16, 20 hours a day, flying back and forth from Romania to other countries in Europe, coming back, of course, without knowing it, trying to validate myself and good enough. But of course, never it was enough. So that was the moment in 2010 when I got out from the corporation, searching for something, I don't know what. No, there is a story. Go somewhere and find I don't know what. I don't know if you know that story. So that was me in 2010. And there was a morning when I woke up, um, and the only thing that I could consciously say or think was that I'm not good. I don't feel good. Now I can say that I was very sad and I was in pain, and everything inside of me was weeping. And the thought came, I will go to the horses today. And as with CI, I went, and there I was and stayed. I met Victoria after 2 years, 3 years actually. After I have sold my first horse. Was not her, it was another horse. And my encounter with her was she was running like crazy, and 3 people were there to help me go on her back, and it was no 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 no, you know, stuff like this. My first reaction was, I never want to see this horse in my life, considering she was my mirror. You can make a compassionate inquiry from this. But after 2 weeks, when I returned to the horses, I saw her doing the same stuff with another lady. And surprise, surprise, I have met my jealousy. What is that girl doing with my horse? My horse, you know, which I never want to see in my life again. So that's how our relationship started. And at that time, I was running, she was running. I was actually turning my back to everything. I was in what you might call an avoidant attachment, let's say, because it was too painful if I get too close. What if I'm going to be hurt? She was doing the same. I mean, I remember it took 1 year for her to stay still for 30 seconds, which was our biggest achievement. And because I don't know why, there was this I'm not good enough, so I have to be enough to get along with Victoria. I was sleeping with her, telling her poems, reading, whispering. And after 1 year, she sat still, Gosia, for 30 seconds. No? And then I think it was my first moment that I stayed still. And it was amazing. That was the moment when I really felt the connection. Until then, I was triggering her, she was triggering me, you know. And yeah, then things went on. But I learned a lot from her. I learned about me. I learned that I was running of everything. I was in a tremendous fear. But the story I was telling to myself was that I'm so courageous. I can do everything. You know? I learned from her that sometimes the most difficult thing to go forward is to stay still, you know? Yeah. And many others, you know, but she's keep giving me lessons, even if she passed away, you know. But yeah, that's Victoria.
Beautiful story. Story of resilience. Yeah, story of finding.
And there is a story of resilience, you know, because she had a very traumatic time before we got together. And that's why she was running, and she was trying to kick you and keep you away. And she was my mirror, so yeah. So me too.
Yes. You did injure yourself a few times, if I remember well.
Mm-hmm.
You did injured yourself a few times, if I remember well.
But not with her. I injured myself, if you mean about the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, not with her. With her, never. Although everybody was saying to me, you bought this crazy horse. We will not help you manage yourself. Even if I remember there was a contest, home contest, and everybody was finishing in like 48 seconds. It was a jumping contest, and everyone was finishing 48, 49 seconds. Me and Victoria, we were like in 31 seconds, everything, and I was like trembling everywhere, you know. But no, she never, I never got injured with her. Actually, she was always very careful, even if I was losing balance. She was just doing this and get back on the saddle, lady. We are running together. Let's run together. No, I got injured before because, again, of this perfectionism, this I have to do it and I have to do it now. So yeah, I broke my leg. I had multiple muscle injuries. I had my story of injuries, never with her, and never after I broke my leg. So yeah, I became more conscious about my body. See, somehow I think the biggest learning, not only from the horses, but for whatever activities I have chosen with my gut, is that even if we don't hear, our body finds a way to hear him, you know? Yeah.
That is true. You get the pull and it's there. And it's, if you're not gonna, you might be doing it now or you might be doing it in few years time, but it's always gonna pull you back to whatever it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
It's a beautiful story. My other question, I've got many, but I'm conscious of time, of your time. If you have someone that is struggling and is not sure of starting to work on themselves, what would you advise anything? Would you have any advice to someone who wants to work on themselves, but they're thinking, oh, this is too painful. I don't want to go. Why do I have to discover all these painful spots? Is it always about coming back to that pain? Or is there any other ways of, healing yourself and coming back to yourself?
Let me see if I got the question right.
I was just about to say, would you like to clarify intention?
Yes, as we're doing, yeah. Because what I'm hearing is that you are talking about a person who is consciously deciding to or wants to heal. And at the same time, there is this idea showing up that, but should I go there to that pain? Maybe I don't want to go to that pain, but I want to heal without feeling the pain, something like that. And your question is if I have any advice for them?
If there's any advice for someone who wants to do the healing, wants to embark on a journey, but is not sure if it's worth it, of going through that painful spots, or is it always have to be going back to this painful moments? Is it always necessary to be in that painful moments, or just remembering this, trying to remember? Because as we know, like, I'm sure you've got the clients not actually remembering many things, but feeling that there is something not okay. So is it always a need to go to that painful spots if you actually want to heal yourself?
Well, see, I guess that's where the best answer is it depends. Because in the end, if there is a need to heal, for sure something is painful. Or at least there is a kind of discomfort, or I don't know, this idea of I want to heal is coming from somewhere. Before going, I want to heal, but is it worth it to go through that pain in order to heal? I would say it needs a clarification, because healing means something for me, maybe something for you, maybe something for people watching us, In the end, just to have a reference, I would offer a definition, if I might say, of healing, with which I personally resonate. It doesn't have to be a definition that everyone resonates with, but just to have a framework for your question, is that returning to essence that you were saying in the beginning of our chat. It's It's to be in your own inner power, to express yourself in an authentic way, without fear of judgment or non-acceptance, just being who you are, which is an amazing human being. The question is, how do you feel when you do that? For example, how do you feel when you feel connected to your essence, when you live from your essence? How do you feel, Gosia?
No, I feel amazing, but I feel like there's many people that don't understand that at the very beginning. So there is a pull, but there is also the void of not going there because it potentially might hurt too much. So there is a fear, obviously, there of not wanting to do that and thinking if there's any other ways.
Yeah, but you are just answering the question, because the whole idea is that we already have the answers to the questions that we are asking ourselves. And if I am at the point when I realize I want to heal, but I'm not sure it's worth it, I already know the answer.
Yeah.
I already know it's worth it, only because I am having this idea. So the only advice that I might have is not to rush anything, because usually we are educated. If there is a problem, solve it.
So we work with words more.
We work a lot with our mind, but we work a lot because that's how we have been raised, at least in our society and our culture. We are taught to solve problems, and we do exams, and we are valued on how good we solve the problems. We have job descriptions, we have KPIs. Everything is about how we perform, So obviously, the first thing is I have to do it and fast. Let's not waste time.
There's an outcome also attached to it, right? So
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
In order to feel certain way. So
yeah.
And I guess it's nice to have a goal.
Nice to have a goal, but sometimes it's not the goal. It's not something that you can put a scale on it. If I heal, I will be happy.
That's right.
How is it for me to be happy? What's my experience of being happy? How does it look like? Not around me, Okay. If I heal, I will not get mad. We have this tendency to say what we don't want. When we want to heal, we don't want to, whatever. So I guess my advice is to either, if there is possibility, stay a bit and inquire into what's this healing about at my personal level. What do I sense that I need when I say that I want to heal? What do I want to heal? And what do I make it mean about myself that I want to heal? Because again, this is another tricky stuff. Usually, we think in antithesis. I think that's the word. In pair of opposites. If I need to heal, it means I'm not well. It's something wrong with me.
Right. I need to fix this.
I need to fix this. Healing is not fixing. And I guess that, for me at least, that's an important distinction. To heal is not to fix, is not to repair. It's just to come back to myself. And if you can envision that healing is coming back to yourself, would you even ask if it's worth it? I mean, and if the answer is no, it doesn't worth it, then take a look. Where are you answering from?
Yeah.
Because even this question, I want to heal, but I don't know if it's worth the pain, is probably a part of me that is still protecting me. So what's there? Let's see what's present. If this question is present, let's not look solutions. Let's not look advices. Let's see what does this question say about me. Because it's not our answers, it's our questions that offer valuable insights, of who we are.
So
At least that's mine.
A little bit of investigation within it, and as you said, or maybe gentle inquiry rather than investigation, because investigation already sounds like, I have to figure it myself out. What do I want to do, etc. But to have this, as you say, there is this already, the feeling that our body is intuitively pushing us towards something, and now is the question of actually connecting also with the mind and being with the both quite conscious in terms of with the heart, to be conscious of like why do we feel this way, what doesn't work for us in our lives anymore, that we've got this pull towards learning ourselves or unlearning stuff, which we find out later.
Yeah, it's an invitation to introspection, at least, right?
Invitation to introspection. Very nice.
There is a word in Nordic language, insa-a. You know the word? There was also a documentary made. Insa-a doesn't have a specific translation, but somehow it means to look outside in.
Wow.
It's like an invitation to change the position of the lenses, of the glasses. We are used to look outside, inside out, right? And we see solutions, workshops, books, people, and how we see them get inside with a meaning about ourselves, a sensation, an emotion showing up. The proposal of Insa-a is to look outside in, like if I look here, what meaning do I make about the outside?
Yeah.
So I guess that's a way of healing. To make a conscious decision, where do we look? Outside or inside? Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
And because now we're really running out of time, got one more question. Okay, maybe two questions.
What's time?
One is book recommendation, something that really help you or open your eyes or kind of maybe widen your lenses, the capacity, or maybe something that suddenly you had this wow.
The books are my addiction, so you just made it really difficult for me to answer this question. Okay.
From the therapeutic perspective, if we narrow it down to something that, because obviously we are on the different stages, we're going to have something that's going to just appear in the front of us. It helps us with the journey. It's something that because we also had, as in our CI community, we also had a lot of books as a recommended to us books. Is there anything there that you could find on that CI shelf that helped you and that resonated with you so much that you recommended it to hundreds of other people?
There are many that I would recommend. One of our CI shelf that is very close to my heart is the Diamond Approach, the first book of Alma's. That's and not only the first book, I would recommend all three books.
Yeah.
Probably you know it.
I do know it. I love it.
Yeah.
I read it a few years ago, and I was just, I read it a few times.
Yeah. And it's gentle, and at the same time is for me at least it was extremely powerful. We are reading everywhere now about defense mechanism, coping mechanism, triggers, and so on. Exactly. And somehow it's a lot of pressure to solve our trigger. See, we are going back. Now you have the information, go home and solve your trigger. They even do those reels and short videos, like before and after I went to the therapy and I found out that I am triggered, right? In Almas, there is this theory of holes, it's actually explaining the copings, the survival mechanisms. And for me, it had a really powerful impact on how I look to myself. And how do I see that the holes are the wounds, Yeah. What do they need? And it's a powerful metaphor, If there is a hole, there is a wound, and you cover it up, it will never heal. We know this ever since we were children, that my grandmother was saying to me, let the wound breathe. I don't know if you had this, I think everyone that has ever scratched at least had this, don't cover it up. So if you cover it up, how can it heal? If you judge yourself that you uncover it because you are defending and you are triggered, it will get even deeper, So yeah, I would recommend this with all my heart. And there is another book which we don't have in our CI library. It's I don't know the English for it. It has just been launched in Romanian, but I will translate it like this, and I don't know, probably in English it will be different words. It's the author, I don't even know the author. Arthur Osborne.
Don't know it.
Yeah, because he's not a writer. He is a writer of biographies.
Right.
And he was the first one who got the approval to get the materials from India, and he wrote the book about Sai Baba life. I don't know if you have heard of Sai Baba.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not a big book. It's like this. Well, it's in Romanian. And it's about his life, his way of presenting himself, considering that he never wrote a book, considering that a book or anything. Sai Baba actually means Holy Father, which I didn't know. And it really impressed me because the author just takes happenings with various interactions with him.
Yeah.
And in the end, the whole idea, and I love that. And it goes so well with our compassionate lifestyle, our inquiries, our introspection. He was saying, I am giving everyone that asked me what they want, hoping that we will reach a point when they will want what I have to give.
Yes. Yes.
So there is so much wisdom in plain words, simple words, that it really touched my soul. So yeah, I would recommend this book to everyone.
Oh my God. Can you repeat that?
What I said before. So I will give to everyone. Again, I am now translating from Romanian quote. I will give to everyone what they ask from me, hoping. No, I will give to everyone what they want, hoping they will reach a point when they will want what I have to give.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple but complex.
Yeah. And therapy, right? Because that's therapy. You can't You can't wish for your client or for the person you are working with. That's their duty to want, to wish, their job. You are there to guide, you know. But this repetition, which is our way of learning, we learn through repetition. And it's not about the what, it's about the fact that I acknowledge that I want. And sometimes it might be the first time that you allow yourself to express that you want something. So for me, that simple quote there, you know, I give you what you want because it's the want I'm interested in. This is how I become. This is how I express myself. Or at least, again, that's my understanding of it. And I'm pretty enthusiastic. So again, if you ask me about the books, be aware of the time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And last one.
Last one.
Could be short, could be long. Let's see how it goes. We talk about the essence, and actually, when you speak about Diamond book, her Diamond book, Amas's book, to me that book goes really deep. It's quite philosophical. It goes beyond the religions and is deeply spiritual for me. It speaks the spirituality that I understand and love and I cherish. And it takes me to it really takes me internally when I'm reading his words, his teachings to different level. I feel myself, I would say. When I read his book, I'm like, okay, I landed. I know exactly what he's talking about, as you were giving the example about the hole and wounding. And it's just so beautiful. So to me, this is how the spirituality comes through me, through this type of words. It's a little bit of metaphysical and maybe retrieved from the ancient teachings and wisdom teachings school, but it's combined in this kind of more modern approach that we all need. And the moment I read that book, I was like, well, how come I didn't read that book before? I mean, it happened with few books, but what's your definition of spirituality?
I don't have one. I don't have a definition of spirituality. I would rather just, I can tell you how I live mine. Because I don't have a definition, you know? And
I guess what people say about, because spirituality has got a bad rap, it's got a bad reputation in terms of like it's being attached to things that are not actually spirituality, and that's why many people actually maybe explain spirituality by excluding things rather than including things. So what doesn't belong to the definition of spirituality rather than what belongs, what kind of shapes the way,
Yeah. You know what spirituality for me? It's the unity with the spirit. That's for me, the spirituality. And this spirit is not something philosophical, metaphysical for me. For me, it's the connection with, mainly with everything that surrounds me. And I'm talking about nature, I'm talking about the trees, I'm talking about the grass, I'm talking about my dogs, which are not only dogs, as you know. They are my sons. I tell them my sons. My pines in the yard. It's Papa Pine, it's Mama Pine. So there is this connection with my horses, with my cats, with other animals or other plants, and also with other human beings. When I'm in my essence, that's my spirituality, you know. And when I say I live it, it's like I know it is like it is, and it's a perfect moment. That's my spirituality, which comes with a lot of gratitude, you know. And here it's about living in a way of giving. I don't know how to put it in another words.
No, that's,
You know, it's like I'm not here to keep something, to take something, because I receive and I give. It's a flow. That's my spirituality. And yeah, that's me. I don't know how it is for other people, but that's spirituality for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what is definition of, depending, everyone's gonna have their own definition of essence, right? The essence gonna mean there's gonna be different ingredients into your essence, but
Mm,
I believe that the one that's gonna connect us all is the nature, because this is where we came from. I mean, we're part of it.
mm,
Not only came from that nature, but we are nature. We are nature. And I feel like this is so powerful, but people don't see this as powerful, that we are nature. We disconnected ourselves from that
mm,
very magical source of life.
mm.
Okay, I've got many questions, so we will have to repeat that.
Thank you so much, Gosia. I will chat with you for days and hours. It was really an honor to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having you in my life. And we all know that everything happens for a reason, and I can't say enough how I am grateful for you to have in my life. And coming from the spiritual perspective, it's the connection that as soon as it's made, and we were connected before, but now we are like, we know that connection from different perspectives.
Mm,
So
mm.
let the journey continue. And
Thank you so much. Thank you.